I was planning on doing natural makeup today, and then Gothic Easter over here happened. So today it is day 13 of 15 days of foundation. This is where I try out a new foundation every single day for 15 days. So during season 2 of 15 days of foundation, the last one, I tried out DERMACOL Makeup Cover, which is the most full coverage foundation I've ever tried, seen, used in my life, but where it still looks like skin. It's one of my favorite foundations when I just want something for a few hours to look amazing. In the last few months, DERMACOL has kind of blown up online. I'm gonna leave my review over here if you missed it. That one is not super long lasting on my skin, but I love it when I just want my skin to look freaking flawless. So I wanted to try out something else from DERMACOL. This is the ACNECOVER Makeup and Corrector. I love trying out a foundation that I haven't seen anything about or heard anything about. So this is actually a foundation and concealer in one. There's a little nub down here. I got this on eBay for about $8. You can find it online anywhere from like 7 to 10. You get 30 milliliters or 1.01 ounces of product. The thing that drew me to this is obviously I have acne. I like to cover it. It says it mattifies skin, it says it prevents acne, and it has tea tree oil in it, which is supposed to be good for acne. So sign me up. On their website, it says that this is a 2-in-1 makeup and corrector for problematic acne-prone skin. It's supposed to have medium coverage, which is kind of interesting because I feel like if it's geared towards acne, you'd probably want to make it a little more full coverage. It says, this light foundation with perfecting corrector makes your complexion uniform and gently covers pimples and red skin. This light foundation cares for the skin all day long, provides it with a matte appearance, and does not clog pores. Tea tree oil with antibacterial and antiseptic effects supports skin regeneration. It's supposed to reduce sebum formation or make you less oily. So this only comes in 4 shades, which is obviously pretty shitty. I have the lightest shade, which is the shade 1. So I'm going to start swatches right here of this shade compared to the normal DERMACOL foundation in the lightest shade, which is 208. That foundation is perfect shade match for me. I think that's my closest shade match I've ever found. And also next to some other foundations, just so you can see how it compares. All right, so swatch time. Right here's the DERMACOL ACNECOVER foundation in the shade 1. Next to it is the DERMACOL Makeup Cover, the full coverage foundation in 208. As you can see, huge shade difference here. Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless 110. Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation in 0.5. These two are the Max Factor Pan Stick foundations. In that review, I told you guys that I bought the shade Fair and would swatch it next to the shade True Beige. So here's the shade 25 Fair. Here's the shade 12 True Beige. This one is probably one of the more salmon kind of pink tone foundations I've ever seen. This is super, super pink. So I'll update you guys in the wrap up how I wear those, but here they are. So I think that's all of the claims on here. DERMACOL is cruelty-free. Since there's only 2 days left of 15 days of foundation, don't forget to get your t-shirts and hoodies down below in the description box. 100% of the proceeds go to Project Beauty Share. So if you want to see what I think of the DERMACOL Acne Cover and how it applies and wears throughout the day, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. You know it's day 13 when you wear dry shampoo the past 5 days. So right now it's 8:08 in the morning. I've already washed, moisturized, and primed my face using the Laura Mercier foundation primer. So it twists off. Whoa, the whole thing is coming off. By the look of this concealer on the end, it looks pretty dark. This foundation is supposed to be medium coverage, so I think I'm first going to spot conceal with their concealer on the end of here. And I just pushed it back in since it did come out. Apply this to the face. I'm going to blend this out with my finger. Feels pretty stiff. Definitely too dark. You can see like orange concealer down on my neck. Okay, that didn't seem to cover at all. Like at all. No, we're gonna not use that. I don't even know if that qualifies as a concealer. I'm gonna squeeze some product out onto my palette. Looks kind of like a moussey thick formula. Ooh, it smells good. It smells like tea tree. So I'm gonna use my Sigma F80 brush on one side of my face and the Real Techniques makeup sponge on the other. If you don't like the tea tree scent, you would not like this because you can definitely smell the tea tree in there. I personally like it. I love the Body Shop tea tree line. The shade is too dark, about a shade too dark, maybe 2 shades, but I'm thinking if this actually helps mattify throughout the day, which it's supposed to, this might be good to mix in with DERMACOL, the makeup cover. I'm also not getting a whole lot of coverage with this, so if I wanted to amp up the coverage. So with the brush on one layer, I don't think this is quite medium coverage. It looks like kind of just a light tinted moisturizer. It has a really pretty glowy look to it. I wonder if it's gonna mattify as it sets a little bit, because your skin will have a natural and matte appearance. So right now it's not looking matte at all. I'm not liking how this is applying with the sponge. It's getting kind of patchy and it looks a little bit dry almost with the sponge. The brush is better with this one. I'm gonna switch to the brush to finish that off. Coverage looked about the same with the sponge, but for getting a smooth, even application, a brush is definitely the way to go. The consistency of this is kind of like a gel, and it does feel a little bit cooling on the face, probably from the tea tree. Right now I have light coverage going. I wouldn't call this medium coverage off of one layer. It's sitting nice on my skin. It just looks kind of glowy and very natural. So I'm gonna try and build this up to see if we can get a little bit more coverage. See if I can get it to medium coverage. I like how it's looking on my forehead. It looks really plump. It's not settling in anywhere on my dry patches or anything. I'm gonna kind of just smooth it out with the sponge a little bit. Yeah, something weird happens when you use the sponge. It gets really almost dry looking. So just kidding, no sponge. It almost separates with the sponge. Oh, you know what? Maybe because there's tea tree oil in here. I wonder if the water and the sponge kind of separates the oil. That's probably what's happening. Doesn't quite look like the shade is showing up on camera, but it is definitely a couple shades dark. I hope this doesn't oxidize. I would call this low medium coverage on 2 layers. Very low, it's almost light coverage, but it does look very natural and glowy. And I think if you like more light coverage, this looks really pretty right now. It almost feels like when a sunscreen is drying. So right now it's 8:23, so I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so it's now 9:05. We're gonna call the check-in